But instead of filling, what do we have here? X-ray. And then for the label, instead of label filling, what do we use? Label X-ray. Clear? This is the same. The plus equal is the same as this one. It's a shortcut. It says add this to the total. Okay? It's the same thing. I did it this way so you can see both ways. Okay? You either can do it this way or you can do it like the traditional way that you've been doing. Alright? Now after we're done, what do we need to do? We need to display the result into the label total. So we'll say LBL total equal to what? Dot text equal to what? Equal. Now here I want to format the output to include currency. So here we use the function in the string class, format function or format method, to format the output for me. So we'll say string dot format. Okay. This allows you to format the numeric values depending on your needs. Okay. We want to print it in $sign, so I'll use the currency format. So we'll use the curly bracket. 0 refer to the number that you're trying to the variable that you're trying to refer. There's only one variable, so we start with 0. Okay. Then C stands for the currency. Okay. Then we put the variable number, the variable name that we want to format. So string.format 0 refer to which one? Refer to total. If I have multiple, I will put comma, for example. The second one will be number 1, the third one will be number 2, and so forth. You get the idea? And the C stands for currency. What else can I use? I can use N, I can use F, I can use G, F for floating, but those are the main ones. Okay, C, F, N. Okay, those are the main ones that you use. Okay, and then we are ready to run it. Now if we run it, let's see what happens. If I don't even enter the name and I click on total, I got 35. If I click on cavity, I got 185. Now notice the label is small, that's why it's not showing the decimal. So if you want to you need to make this label a little bit, we need to make this label a little bigger so it shows the zeros. And same thing here for that. Now we need to do the cleaning. We need to do what? The validations. Okay? And then before we do the validation, we'll take a break. Okay? Alright, so we're done with the first part. Now the next part is that we want to do some validation. So the result only shown when there is no error in the form. Now, what are the possible errors in the form? That the user must enter a value for the name, and then they must check at least one checkbox. All right. Now, to do the validation, you could do it using the message box, but we want to do it using the error provider that's given to us in the book, not in the book, in the system. In the book they use message box, but message box work if you have only one. If you have multiple validations, it becomes cumbersome. Okay, it becomes hard. So we have a control called error provider. So we just simply click and drag it on the form. Now after that, the name of this error provider one. After that, we go to the processing, and we need to do validation. Now because there are multiple places that we can have an error, we need an indicator in our application that tells us there is an error on the form. And this indicator, we use a variable called, we call it error flag, but the type of it is Boolean. So we say then error flag as Boolean, and we start with false. And every time we find an error, we change that false to what? True. Okay? So what are the possible errors? We have the possible errors for the name. First, we need to clear the error provider. If we don't clear the error provider, the error stays on the screen. So we need to clear all the errors first before we continue with the checking. So we say error provider 1. There is a method called here called clear. Okay, so that's how we clear the error provider. Now next, we do the checking. So this is the setup. Here I'm just going to put a comment here. Here is clearing all the errors, previous errors that existed. Okay, if we had errors. Now next is I'm going to do validation process. Okay. In the validation, we have one variable, the name. If we say if txt name dot text. Now here, because the user can enter blank, so we need to remove all the blanks. So we say trim. If it's equal to empty, that means what? If it's equal to empty, that means what? That means the user did not enter a value. So then what happens? We say error flag what? Error flag equal to true. What else? We also need to tell the application there is an error on that field. So how do we tell it? We say error provider 1 error provider 1 dot set error, and we tell it what? We tell it the field that has the error. Which field has the error? txt name, and then the message that has the error, or the message that we want to show on the form. Here we put what? What do we put in here? We put name cannot be blank, right? Is that clear? That's for the name. Now, if you want to make sure that the user does not enter numeric value in the name, you can also do the validation. Do you want me to do that? Or for the name? For simple validation, we'll just say they must enter a value. Now, whether it's a number or not, for more advanced stuff, you can do that. Okay? Else is what? The second thing that we need to validate, that the user must check at least what? One checkbox. How do we know that the user did not check any? If all of them are false, that means he did not check or she did not check any checkbox. So how can you do that? You can say if what? Check box. No, it says check what? Check cleaning that checked equal to false. Right? If it's equal to false, that means they did not check it. But at the same time, we want to check the other ones, because all of them has to be unchecked. If one of them is checked, then we're okay. So if this is if check cleaning dot checked equal false, and what? Check filling dot checked equal to false, and what? Check X-ray that checked equal to false.